To me, they're always contenders, especially in the tough Western Conference, because they've got the two big men down low. You still have Vince Carter, who's really not been incorporated, but once Vince Carter he gets going and everything, starts to form well for this Memphis team. They get better later in the year. I won't worry about. I think Memphis will do a really good job. Yeah, I'll go with Memphis as the most impressive for me.
Okay, Golden State at 2-0. They whooped up on my Lakers last night.
Oh yeah.
I think they're obviously contenders for the last few years. What about you?
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, I think they are contenders, but to me, Charles Barkley always says, they have a shooter's chance because there's sometimes they just get crazy hot and they can go far, but I don't know. The West is just so deep. I don't think they've taken that next step yet to like a Western Conference Finals level. I think Memphis could be surprising. I think Dallas could be surprising. I really think Portland, though, is the team that's taking the next step. I think Portland has really been that team, along with San Antonio, where I just say, to me, they're the class. Right now, they're the class of the West. Portland and San Antonio.
Portland?
Yeah.
So, Memphis is a really good team. They have Marc Gasol back. They didn't have him for a good portion of last season. He's really been impressive. Zach Randolph's been impressive. But yeah, with Golden State, if their shot's not on, which is rare, but if it's not on, their offense loses a lot of firepower, and they can be frustrating at times. When shots aren't falling, that's just frustrating for any player, especially for two guys like Curry and Thompson, who are so known to knock down the three ball consistently. The Clippers at 2-0. They also beat the Lakers. It was a close game, and you'd think the Lakers should have won that.
Against the Warriors?
No, Lakers against Clippers.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Definitely. I thought the Lakers, and I know I'm a huge critic of them, but I wasn't impressed by the Clippers at all. I thought the Lakers kept it close. Jordan Hill knocking down all those huge mid-range jump shots. And, Kobe distributing well that game. I was a little bit surprised that the Lakers weren't able to pull that one out.
Yeah, so I really like the Clippers. I like the addition of Spencer Hawes. Chris Paul and Blake Griffin are going to stay huge for them. DeAndre Jordan, defensive anchor. I could honestly see them in the Western Conference Finals.
The Clippers?
Yeah, it's if they play the way they've been playing, and if they can keep it up, we saw them in that tough playoff loss to the Thunder. But if they can keep it up, I think they're definitely primed to go to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, to me, I think San Antonio is a lock for the Western Conference Finals, but I would have to agree with you there. I think Portland, it's either between the Trailblazers and the Clippers for that right to play San Antonio in the Western Conference. It's a right. It's a right to play San Antonio. It really is, because the Western Conference goes through San Antonio. It really does. It still goes through them.
Yeah. So, and then we have Miami and Toronto on the East as the two undefeated teams. I know you're not a huge fan of Miami making it far, but what about Toronto?
Toronto, it seems like ESPN has forgotten about Toronto, as maybe they're not even in the league, but they're still 2-0 and they're never talked about. I don't know how to explain this, but they still win games. And DeRozan has elevated his game to new heights. Training in LA, there's so many training videos of him. He's doing such a great job. You look at Lowry elevating his game. Everybody is elevating their game in Toronto, and the coaching staff and Dwayne Casey, they look great. I'm surprised that Toronto is not talked about enough.
Yeah, fresh start without Rudy Gay this year. They had him for a portion of last season. Now they get a fresh start. And I'm looking forward to them producing at a high level. Their top two guys, DeRozan and Lowry, work very well together, and I think they get maybe their top three team in the East. I think.
Yeah, I still think they're a top 3 team too. I think Valanciunas is going to have a better year though. I think he's improved. It's just going to take him some time, but Valanciunas and Ross, they're the difference for Toronto if they want to go far in the playoffs. Similar to Indiana a few years ago with Stevenson and George Hill and how they had an impact. I think that's the same thing with Toronto and Ross and Valanciunas.
Yeah, and the final team, Miami, 2-0. Chris Bosh has looked really impressive. How far do you think he can take them, and how far do you think they can go as a team?
Oh, I think Miami, they'll definitely, there's never a question of effort or talent, but Father Time is coming for Miami, and it's just they're simply not going to make the playoffs. And I agree with Rick Fox of NBA TV. I think this is just a fluky 2-0 because you think Wade can legitimately stay healthy this whole entire year. I don't think Luol Deng will stay healthy, and I think the injury bug is going to hurt Miami and stop them from getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, the injury bug has been there for Wade for the last few years, and Luol Deng, matter of fact. Yeah, if they can stay healthy for a good amount of the season, though, I think they could pull a 7th or 8th slot in the playoffs. It's possible. The East isn't super competitive yet.
Are you? I mean, I know this may be kind of off the wall, just over the top, but even after Milwaukee's win, do you still believe in Milwaukee? They could somehow slip in there. I mean, look at Giannis, and he's even coming off the bench. Brandon Knight is playing out of his mind. Jabari is poised to become Rookie of the Year. You don't believe that Milwaukee has a chance to get that 8th spot? I really think they do.
No, they're going to lose too many games. It's just that simple. They're going to lose too many games. Because they're interesting. They're a fun team to watch, but no. I don't see them yet. Give them another season or two. Give them 2 seasons.
I don't know. I think
maybe they're like Charlotte. We looked at Charlotte 2 years ago, 3 years ago actually, and they were horrible. Now look at them now. They just needed a couple more years.
Okay, well, I'm kind of getting a little impatient here because I want Giannis to be inserted in the starting lineup. I'm a little impatient. I don't know what Giannis has done to you, Jason Kidd, that you don't want to put him in the starting lineup. Really surprising. I think Giannis is starting level material. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, he is. I don't know what bringing him off the bench does for them. Maybe they feel if he starts, it's too many mouths to feed in the starting lineup. Maybe Brandon Knight and Jabari Parker. So maybe that's why in Middleton. But I'd start him. He's too good to come off the bench.
Yeah, and speaking of the Eastern Conference, I just mentioned Milwaukee, but Detroit, they're 0-3, and they just look awful. I mean, Josh Smith getting criticized all over the place by Kenneth Faried. Everybody's saying this team is overrated. Are they the most talented bad team in the NBA?
Yeah, they have a lot of talent. And it's just not translating into wins, which is same story as last year. It's just frustrating at this point if you're a Pistons fan, but I'm not, so which is good. It's just frustrating. You think of a team that has all this talent, and they couldn't beat the Timberwolves. They couldn't beat Denver, and I thought Van Gundy would whip him into shape. I really did. I thought he'd be the coach to bring this team to maybe respectability, maybe 500, but I guess not.
Yeah, they've been, really just. It seems like they haven't improved at all. They're just their same ways, chasing numbers, trying to see who can score the most. It's just been an awful year for Detroit. And do you think they need to trade people? Is it just coaching? Or do you think if they get the right coach with the talent they have, that they can eventually become a playoff team later? I'm not talking about this year. Talking about later down the road.
Yeah, I think they can later down the road. They have to move some pieces around. Drummond is definitely the cornerstone. Maybe try to ship Brandon Jennings because he seems like he's unhappy with the team. Maybe ship him because they got Augustine. Augustine is capable of maybe being a starting point guard. Yeah, but they got to move things around a little bit. They're not going to make the playoffs with that team.
Yeah, unfortunately for Detroit. And let's go over to the Western Conference. You said that you're not disappointed. You said that Pistons fans should be disappointed. And then you said you're not a Pistons fan, but you are a Lakers fan, and your team is unfortunately 0-4. How do you explain it? Here we go.
54 years, we're 0-4 since 1960. It's horrible. I can't explain it. The first game against the Rockets was just bad. Julius Randle broke his leg, and it's just been a downhill spiral. First of all, NBA, why are you setting us up for 4 games in 5 nights?
Because it's entertaining to see the Lakers. They're circus. They're always. Everybody loves to see them. Either they want to see extremes with the Lakers. I think that's why the NBA finds it entertaining.
Yeah, but it's just we're the only 4 games in 5 nights to start the season. That's horrible. I don't know why they scheduled it like that. I'm not saying that's an excuse, but just in general, well, you don't schedule a team to play 4 games in 5 nights to start the season. It doesn't matter that they're not far away from each other. It's not the proximity. It's just these guys are playing 40 minutes per game, and it's like you're going to put 4 of them in 5 nights, give us 1 night break.
I don't think it's that bad. I mean, they played the Clippers, and they had 2 home games pretty much. They had the Clippers, and then they had the Rockets.
But I just don't see why we had to be. Because no other team has played a schedule like that. No other team has played 3 games most. Come on. Of course it's the Lakers. No other team has played 4 games. We're the only team.
But, okay, I mean, you make a good point, but I still think there are no excuses. I mean, Kobe Bryant has been, to me, I feel like, and people are going to say this is completely wild, but I think he's dodging some of the criticism and putting it on his teammates a little bit. Because you can't go out there and constantly in the media say, my teammates need to do better, my teammates need to do this. Shouldn't a real leader say, you know what, I'm going to do this to help my team win. I'm going to start distributing more. I'm going to start playing better defense. He didn't close out on Klay Thompson well last night. Nobody ever talks about that. It almost seems like Kobe Bryant at this old age is deflecting blame on his onto his younger teammates. This is ridiculous. What happened to the nurturing leadership of Kobe Bryant?
Oh, Cameron, come on.
And Kobe and Reggie Miller brought this up on TNT. He said Kobe Bryant is too sensitive. I agree. At times he makes it hard to communicate to Kobe Bryant. It's so difficult to talk to him because it seems like if you don't agree with him, he won't back down and he'll never talk to you. That just seems like Kobe's personality, and that's not a nurturing leader.
I don't think Kobe's going to be nurturing at this point in his career. I don't think it's about that, honestly. But with the blame put on Kobe, I mean, yeah, he took some bad shots last night, but the blame is not mostly on him. It's not solely on him.
No, I get that. It's not all his fault. But don't deflect it on your teammates and say it's all their fault. He puts none of the accountability on himself.
But it's not like the games are close. It's not Oh yeah, I should hit that shot.